For China, 2018 was a year of change and reform, of innovation and development. Here's a recap of what happened here over the past year and an outlook for what's in store for 2019.
Chinese lawmakers adopted a constitutional amendment in March, the fifth since 1982. The amendment enshrined Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era as the guiding principle for both country and the Chinese Communist Party. Experts believe this milestone amendment will provide stronger constitutional support for China's development. The National People's Congress, or China's top legislature, elected the country's new leadership in March. Xi Jinping was elected Chinese president and chairman of the Central Military Commission, and for the first time, China's new leaders took an oath of allegiance to the Constitution. Reform and opening up 40 years on. China celebrated the anniversary of this game-changing move with solid actions and pledges to further open up. Xi Jinping recognized the progress made over the past years and said the policy is a key move in realizing the nation's rejuvenation. The State Council rolled out a plan to cut bureaucracy and improve governance efficiency. The government also introduced a nationwide supervisory commission system to strengthen the fight against corruption. China came out with dozens of supportive measures for entrepreneurs. This came after Xi Jinping's speech at a symposium promising to ease financial burdens and build a friendlier business environment for private companies. As a major force in China's development, the private economy accounts for more than half of the country's fiscal revenue. China shared its global vision at the Boao Forum for Asia and welcomed friends from afar at the Qingdao Summit of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The country also held the first China International Import Expo in Shanghai to further open its market to the world. And the Beijing Summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation was the largest ever diplomatic event held at home. The Chinese Navy carried out the largest maritime parade since 1949. In the past year, the People's Liberation Army has gone through big changes. The PLA has replaced the armed police force to guard the national flag and fire salute cannons, while the latter was transferred to the command under the party and the Central Military Commission. China says ecology comes first while pursuing development of the Yangtze River Economic Belt. The country set a priority in protecting and restoring the environment along the major waterway across 11 provinces and municipalities, and the key to it, enhancing high-quality growth with innovation and reform. China announced a personal income tax cut to improve residents' livelihood. The tax deduction covers 6 major areas including children's education and health care. The measures will come into effect on the first day of 2019. Drug safety inspectors are expected to impose the hardest regulations on vaccines over scandal this summer. The Changsheng Biotech, who produced substandard products, was fined 9.1 billion yuan. A draft law related to the safety of vaccine production had been approved by the State Council.
From trade to diplomacy and tech and politics, this year has been busy for world news. Let's now take a quick roundup of some key international stories that made an impact in 2018.
The world's first import-themed national expo, the China International Import Expo, was held in Shanghai in November. It was a major step in actively opening China's market to the rest of the world, demonstrating the country's commitment to globalization. Since 2013, China's investment in countries taking part in the Belt and Road Initiative has exceeded $80 billion, making the program an important engine for stimulating foreign direct investment. The initiative and its core concepts have been incorporated into the operations of major international institutions such as the United Nations, the G20, APEC, and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. With the Islamic State largely eradicated, the Syria conflict gradually evolved into a confrontation between the Russia and Iran-backed government forces and the anti-government forces with support from the West. The U.S. withdrew from the Iranian nuclear deal and moved its embassy in Israel to Jerusalem amid such controversy. Qatar's diplomatic row with Arab countries has not been alleviated, while relations between Saudi Arabia and Turkey chilled, especially over the murder of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi in the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. Momentous progress has been made in improving relations between the DPRK and South Korea. Their two leaders met 3 times over the past year and agreed to a number of important measures to work towards peace. DPRK leader Kim Jong-un and U.S. President Donald Trump also had a historic handshake in Singapore in June. China's role in facilitating the peaceful development has also been acknowledged internationally. With the U.S. caught in trade frictions with several of its major trading partners, the IMF has cut its forecast for global economic growth, both this year and next. China is among the countries that Washington has locked horns with over the issue of trade, but the two economic powerhouses managed to strike a 90-day truce, sending a positive signal to the world. In what appeared to be a brazen assassination attempt, a former Russian intelligence officer was found poisoned in the UK, resulting in nearly 20 Western countries expelling Russian diplomats. The U.S. also announced that it will withdraw from the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty. The cancellation of the crucial arms agreement risks plunging Europe back into the depth of Cold War-style confrontation. The UK is due to leave the EU on March 29th. Although Prime Minister Theresa May reached an agreement with the EU over the divorce, deep divisions in British Parliament have raised the chances of the country leaving the bloc without any deal at all. The international oil prices fluctuated drastically this year. In order to import Iranian oil, the EU intends to bypass the US dollar-based international settlement system and establish a new trade payment mechanism as soon as possible. The trend of de-dollarization in global finance has become more apparent. As the fight against global warming rages on, delegates to the 24th UN Climate Change Conference in Poland managed to save the 2015 Paris Accord, as countries agreed to continue implementing the deal. Driven by new technologies such as big data, supercomputing, and brain science, artificial intelligence has ushered in a new round of development in 2018. Countries implement new policies to encourage the industry, and tech giants compete for new opportunities. A new intelligence era is coming.